process is everything. Like, you know, there's levels to everything, and if you don't really focus, if you focus, you know, it's one thing you focus on, you got the end in mind, but you know, before the end, there's this whole process of development that you got through, all these stages of failing, all these ups and downs, and these ins, these outs, you know. You don't know who to trust, you don't know who to work with, you're losing money. Are you really losing money, or are you really paying for an education? Right? So it wasn't until I realized that I'm not losing money, I'm paying for an education. So when this moment came that I finally decided to create my own system to help more people, build my own company, right? Everything was just, it worked out. Because I had already been paying it forward, right? When I spent $10,000 trying to learn how to market, you know, in my first 3 months, right? And who knows how much I spent at this point, but it was all paying for the education, because it's going to come back just like this, you know. So definitely there's a process, and people have to focus on that process. And I am definitely excited about the vision of my own system. I'm working more with the code and really bringing out the best in me, so I can bring out the best in others, right? Because in the end of the day, I mean, what is it all worth if you haven't affected more people around you every single day?
Yeah, and so one part of our movement is really about, we say the wealth creation movement, is about a humanitarian effort. So you have the energy at the time. You see, a lot of people are getting away from caring for one another. And see, that is the essence of life itself. And so when you only do it based on me, my people, my family, that's not true caring. You know, caring is about understanding the need that everybody has, and finding a way to fulfill that need based on your skill set, your service. And if everybody's doing that, that's what, in the religious sense, would be called heaven. And so when we deal with so much of people looking at things based on individuality or greed, it creates a problem of whoredom and other dynamics. And so business is about service. And so if you're servicing a need of a person, regardless if you're doing it through internet marketing, through dry cleaners on the corner, it's all the same. How many customers you effectively help to meet their need and change their lives for the better is what measures your success. And so if you got 100 clients or 1 million clients, I mean, it's all based on your strategy at that point, you know, how big you want to get. And so that's what the code process is all about. That's what the whole dynamic of what we're in as the humanitarian group. We basically want to know, what is it going to take for people to realize that if you understand the basis of nature, it's all about divine guidance. And it's all inside of you. So the more you tap into that divine guidance, it's going to tell you, now I ain't doing something right here, something's off.
For sure.
So you can go on the outside and you can follow all kinds of stuff and never have a clue. But the more you tap it on your inside of yourself, it's communicating back to you. Real strong messages.
You better start listening.
Yeah,
for sure. You know, once I definitely started listening to myself, that's when things started to change. Right? That's what, you know, like something that you start to separate what's a dream from a vision. Dreams is, you know, that's what it is. A dream, but a vision is something real that can be manifested. And when you start to listen in on that gut and move forward on your ideals, one step at a time. Someone told me he said, always be moving 5 feet at a time. You know, he said, focus on 10 customers, focus on 50 customers, focus on 100 customers, and just keep moving forward. And what's called the process, period. You know, once everybody start to get that concept of process, you know, they won't worry about, oh, am I getting it right? Am I doing it right? Will I get there fast enough? You know, and you know, they will start to understand that I am doing it right, because I have to learn certain things. I have to get a couple of bumps and bruises, right? You don't just go into the ring and be the champ, right? The champ got beat up a couple of times before he decided to start doing it right, you know?
He's an undefeated one.
Exactly. So for sure, you know, I'm very proud of the process and what the code has done for me so far. And I only had a little bit of it. I didn't get all the code yet. You know, I just got, you know, I just got questioned, and I had to answer those questions. I just got a taste of the code and allow me to take steps forward and really start getting started.
And one of the things we heard recently, it was said by a very successful billionaire, and he said, everyone's success awaits them right outside of their comfort zone. And when I heard him say that was so profound, because when you really look at what success is, it's always measured by the person's perception of success. And so what is really stopping people from obtaining that is what? Getting out of their comfort zone. So that was such a brilliant statement that your discovery of what you need is always awaiting you right outside your comfort zone. So most people get all the way to the threshold, and then they don't want to get uncomfortable. So they say, this thing ain't working.
Right.
I don't put too much time in it working. But the process is for you to break through those barriers that you created unconsciously, where you don't feel like you want to do the work. And that's what success is. It's you breaking through barriers that you haven't been before, because if you never go there, you never know what the possibilities are. It becomes simple mathematics.
For sure.
Most successful businesses are successful businesses because they had many unsuccessful attempts.
That's true.
And so what is the difference between a business and a person? Your success is based on many unsuccessful attempts. Now we're using the term unsuccessful attempts, but is that just really the price that you pay to become successful?
That's right.
Is it a part of the natural process? When we see a baby fall 10,000 times before he bounces and walks, do we say he's unsuccessful?
That's right.
Or is it a part of nature?
That's right.
So it's all perception of how we're looking at things.
So you said success is just natural.
It's a very natural process when you allow it to be.
That's right.
When you be who you are and be in that moment, living in that now, you can create the reality of your success by just understanding and giving yourself the opportunity. And that's where the challenge comes to so many people. They don't want to give themselves the opportunity. They have so many fixed ideas and permanent views in their head that they've created or bought into, which has now become weight or baggage. And so their process is like this and not nature. And once you understand there's a process here and you've engaged in that process, the only thing you can take away from it is value.
Right.
So how can you fail? We had created a marketing concept, say, failing your way to business success. Using that as a marketing ploy. Because we know there's no such thing as failure. But if you engage in the training process, you're going to come out with great substance, because you're going to realize that what we're calling failing your way to business success is your success journey in full motion.